taking things personally. We're not supposed to, according to Don Miguel Ruiz and his 4 agreements. But sometimes it's the honest way I take things. And I can't work on myself if I don't admit that I do certain things at certain times, like taking things personally. I don't know, is it a codependent trait to do that? To take on the sins of other people and place blame on ourselves? If you're like me and you grew up in a very troubled household, we tend to blame ourselves. We can't possibly put the responsibility on the abuser because they're usually our parents or a loved one or someone that at a very young age we couldn't bear to place responsibility on. But we could take the responsibility on ourselves. It could be a carryover from that. I was raised in a situation where I believed that if I just behaved a certain way, I could inspire better behavior. Xander walking by with his big tail. I could inspire better behavior from the abuser, the alcoholic, the narcissist, if I just acted right, if I just acted a certain way. And sometimes the self-help community perpetuates that with the idea of, well, if you just placed boundaries, boundaries are important. It's important to learn when to say no. It's important to be able to walk away when somebody's misbehaving. But if we live with the person and we're dependent on them for the roof over our heads, for the food on our table, it is very difficult to draw a boundary and hold to it. The repercussions of fighting for myself and sticking up for myself were threats to my very well-being, rides to and from school, or rides to and from dancing school, or even dancing school in general, threats that my cat would be taken away, or I wouldn't be able to see the very few friends I was permitted to see. It was a devastating way to grow up. So yes, I formed the habit of taking things on myself and blaming myself. If only I would behave better, if I could resist and not talk back and not do this, things could be better. Oh, what an exhausting way to live, and I'm still learning. I'm still trying to get out of it, taking things personally. I was driving to a meeting tonight, and someone in my neighborhood had taken an entire, drive-through window fast food meal, the garbage from it, tied it up in a little bag, and tossed it on the side of the road. I was furious. I was so angry. I was late, or I would have been late had I stopped to jump out of the car and pick it up, because I do things like that. I don't like things in my space to be out of place or have litter or be dirty. I pick up the litter in front of my house. I can't tolerate it. Could be, a narcissistic trait. Like, nothing is outside of myself, so it's a flaw of myself. If I see litter on the ground, I have to straighten that out. I had a student on the first night of class, and she works, up the highway from the university. I'm trying to not out the person. And she says, even if I leave work early, I can't guarantee I can get here on time, find a place to park, and get to class on time. And the highways that she has to take to get to school really are problematic. So I understood. But what I said was, of course I joked, I said, no, I'll just take it personally. Yeah, I'll think it's my perfume, or you didn't like my teaching style, or you hate the topic for the night. I'll definitely. Yeah, and she's laughing, and I meant it to be funny, but I only was half joking. I kind of meant it a little bit. People get up to go to the bathroom. I mean, that's just a normal thing that happens in a 2-hour lecture. Oh, why did they get up then? Don't they like the video I'm showing? What, do they disagree with me? How could they disrespect me by getting it? Oh my God, it's just so weird. But I know where it comes from. That, what do they call it? An autoplastic defense? This is a psychological word where you blame yourself before not even blaming someone else. Like if there's something going on that you don't like, it's all your fault. You take responsibility for it. That's very codependent. And in the 4 Agreements, if you've ever read that book, and it's good. I think it's not a Bible. It's not a complete system or way to heal or solve all your problems, but it's a good start. There's some very good information in it. And one of the agreements is, don't take it personally. Because people's actions and reactions are almost always about them and not you. So just to let you know, I'm still learning. I'm 58 years old and I'm still learning, thank God. Thank God I'm still learning. My brain allows new information in, and I can integrate the lessons into my life and then pass those lessons on to you, because I want you to discover things about yourself that can be brought to the surface and healed. If we don't talk about these things, even if talking about it is just to watch videos by people like me who say, yeah, me too. I know what you're going through. I lived through that too. And here's what I learned about it. So we take it one day at a time. Al-Anon is for the codependents. I don't know if they use that word, but people who have lived with or been in a relationship with an addict or alcoholic. And it's about not trying to change their behavior, not trying to change the addict or alcoholic's behavior, but changing and growing ourselves so that we could have some peace and happiness and things we need to heal within ourselves, such as taking things personally. It's a very codependent kind of trait. So I recommend those meetings. I go to, and it's the same 12 steps as you go to with Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or any of the Anonymouses. We have a lot of healing to do, no matter who we are and how we grew up. I don't think any of us is fully baked. I think we could go back in that oven for a few more minutes until we're springy. I don't know why there's a cake metaphor happening. I'm hungry. No cream in my coffee all day, and I just nibbled a little turkey pepperoni before I sat down to do this, and now I'm going to have some miracle noodles with cauliflower.